welcome. Don't know if many of you would have seen, but I did do a video about a bait boat stand that I made for this boat. Off the back of that, I had a lot of people ask me whether or not I could actually do a review of this boat. I've had the boat for about probably just over 18 months now. There are a few things that I don't like. Brilliant boat, first of all, but yeah, let's get into it. So the boat itself is a Cult Boats Ranger. I believe the hull is based on exactly the same as a Wave Runner. I don't know what one it is now, but a Wave Runner. Electronics inside, I believe, are the same. I bought this because I wanted the GPS function. I don't know whether my expectations were too high or whether I wanted too much, but yeah, it's not as accurate as I'd like. It can get you probably to within about a 6 metre square point, but yeah, I was expecting, you know, like your phone does effectively, it could get within a metre or 2 metres. Unfortunately, this one isn't as accurate as that. I don't know whether they all are, the few videos that I've seen. Yeah, so if you're after a GPS solution and you need proper accuracy out in France where you're going out 300 yards, I bet that's fine, 6 metre squares. But yeah, I fish a lot of intimate waters and was trying to get right up close to islands in the middle of the night and things like that, but never mind. We live and learn. I went for the LiPo version. Very good. The battery compartments, as you can see, they're just magnetic on. They go in nice and easy, just lock themselves in. Brilliant design. I think it's really good. The LiPo batteries, you can get spare batteries. They last forever. Honestly, they do. I've actually got 3 sets because I didn't know how many I was going to need. Didn't also realise how much they were going to cost me at the time when I bought them, but there you go. On a 24-hour session, 3 rods, I will not go through 1 set of batteries. That's even in the summer when you're baiting up quite regularly and redoing the rods. I've had this boat using 9 rods on a runs water where we couldn't even keep 3 rods each in the water, and I did 2 batteries in 24 hours doing 9 rods. So it does last. The batteries are brilliant. What is that? The one thing I don't like at batteries, there's one either side, by the way, just so you know, that runs on 2 batteries, 1 run either side. When you drop them in, let's see if I can pull one out. This wire, you're supposed to loop the 2 batteries together, and it's a pain to feed it through there. So I added, not only did I change the connectors, as you'll see, just because I'm an ex-RC car person, don't like the rubbish connectors that you get with any of these boats. Doesn't matter what manufacturer. Put better connectors, but I've put a permanent wire in there, so I only have to do the wire on each side now. None of the fiddly feeding it through, which yeah, it does make my life a lot easier. And as you can see, they just drop in. What is there to tell you about it? On and off switch, that's the charging port. You can charge the batteries in the boat, you don't have to take them out. You can also have this boat with a fish finder, feature finder, whatever you want to call it, in it, that uses that hole there as the aerial, but I don't have it in this boat. As I say, I only went for the GPS version of it. On and off switch, lights everywhere on this. The lights are brilliant. You've got 2 standard running lights. I'll put the little reflective thing on there so overnight I could see where it goes. This is a cob light, and it is superb in the middle of the night. You can turn that on and it is like a searchlight. The good thing is, because of the angle of it, it never hits the water. So it's very good for driving up to bushes and seeing right where you are, but you'll never scare the fish because it's always well shielded and pointing upwards. Going to the back, probably the coolest looking bit about this boat. Everyone thinks it looks like a car. I sort of agree with that. For me, it's the Volvo. Don't know what one it is, but it looks a bit Volvo-esque at the back. You have got 3 lights here, green, amber, red, that gives you battery condition as you're going out. You know, if it's red, probably want to change your battery, but as I say, I don't get it to rev very often. And then it's yeah, twin prop with weed guards, standard boat setup really. Good thing about this, you have got a hook dropper. If you just want to take rigs out, you can hook your rig on, drop it off. Obviously that works off the button, works off the remote. I'll show you the remote in a second. And the hoppers are magnetic, as you can see. They just work by putting a positive charge across the solenoids there, and then it will just fire and open. What these don't do, unlike I know some other boats on the market, they do not close back up. But to be honest, as you can see, once they're running on the inside there, they don't cause a problem anyway. The good thing is you can close them, open them, as you can hear, when the boat's on or off. I fit this, doesn't come with this. This is an eBay special for putting the Deeper on the back. So someone printed this. Works great, as I say. I just hang the Deeper off the back. You hear everyone saying that Deepers don't work with these boats on 2.4. I believe my one is a 2.4 version, as it happens, not a 5.8. I don't have a problem. As far as I can see this boat, I can get the Deeper to work, so I'm not too worried about that. The remote itself, this is the bit that I've modified quite heavily. Again, I used to race remote control cars, so I know these things inside and out, and I think this is probably the worst thing about this boat. The boat itself is brilliant. It's a standard remote that pretty much everybody uses now. It's based on a Fly Sky remote. I was hoping to be able to rebind the boat to the Fly Sky remote, because this has got its own firmware in it, and it's very restrictive on what you can do. As you can see, I've removed one of the sticks. There should be two sticks here generally, so this one controls the boat forward, back, left and right, and it will turn on its axis. This one here used to do left and right hop up. I'm moving it left and right, push it forward, turn the light on, pulled it back, did the rig hopper that I showed you on the back there. These two trims, one's for you setting your battery voltage, and this one's obviously just for trimming the boat, make sure it goes straight out in the water. I didn't like this. Used to knock it, could get in the way. If you get all your boat set up, you pick the remote up, just happen to knock it and you dump all the bait. Drove me mad, so I've changed that now. This one's your rig hopper. That one's your the light on and off, and then the two blue ones is your left and right hopper. It isn't easy to do that. Effectively, I had to buy a Fly Sky, cut wiring loom out of it to then for this. Effectively, the stick are the buttons. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it is possible to do. Would I recommend anyone else doing it? If you know how to do it, go for it. I'd rather cult boats take note. Buttons are far better than this silly lever thing. This is historic and no one likes that. Get on the buttons. Buttons are easier. Yeah, that's the remote. Not really a lot to tell you about it. Takes 4 AA batteries. Does turn on the bottom, does lots of beeping. You're never going to be able to see that at this distance, but gives you a remote voltage, a low voltage, and if the boat's on, it will give you a boat voltage down there. I won't bother going into the GPS feature on here because, as I say, don't really think it's worth buying the boat. If I would, box standard, run-of-the-mill boat, buy it. Brilliant. You won't be disappointed, even with the standard remote. It does exactly what it says on the tin, and it is very, very stable out on the water. Holds about 3.5 kilo of bait, and it doesn't care how much, you know, it will just chug through anything. The motors and electronics in it, very robust, very good. Thanks for watching.